Chapter 7. Keep it real, very real. Authenticity. We have talked about paying attention to your DNA, but while the concept of authenticity is closely related, it's not the same. Your DNA dictates your passion, whatever it you want to do. Being authentic and being perceived as such by your audience relies on your ability to ensure every decision you make. When it comes to your business, it's rooted being true to yourself. For example, I would love to change the opening of my show. It starts off the same almost every time. Hello everybody and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friend, is the Thunder Show, aka the interest most passionate at wine program. It's not exactly the same. Wine lovers and looking for the wine expert, and I lose about 12% of my viewers right off the bat because I yell the screams like manic for a businessman like me. The number is intolerable. I desperately want to change the opening of the show to something a little calmer, more refined, and something that won't scare people away. But I can't because that yelling, screaming, super anxiety guy is who I am. If I try to tone things down and make myself appealing to the missing 12%, I can guarantee that everything I have built until now would be start slipping away because now every time I get in front of the flip cam, I will be putting on an act. I am not putting on the performance when I do the show of my blog's post. I am just being me. Invest in the important stuff. One of the silliest questions I get is, what kind of mic do you use? Really? To that I reply, why are you even worrying about that? Your content has nothing to do with the mic, the camera, the lighting, or the set. The day I filmed my the first Thunder Show, I sent the stock boy out to buy $400 video camera for the Best Buy. Now I use a fancy Sony that cost a few thousand bucks, but most of my recent shows I tap on $150 flip cam and they look fine. Watch the show. What do you see? It's me, sometimes an awesome guest, ranging from my dad to Wink Gretzky to Jim Clemmer, some bottles of wine and Jets split buckets. I only invest effort and thought into I care about and what I need to create great content. My business blog, GaryVaynerchuk.com, is even less dressed up. A lot of time I am filming from my office, which is usually a mess. I could clean it up a look of professional and the polished, but it seems wrong to do just because the flip cam is running. There's nothing scripted and nothing staged about my blogs, and I always do only one take. No reords, no tweaks, nothing. People walk in and out of the office. I wave to folks passing in the hall. Whatever happens during filming is what my audience will see. I have film posts from the balconies, hotel rooms, and the street, even my editor's office. Anywhere in the idea strikes me. Sometimes the sound quality is stuck. Sometimes the light is bad. As long as I get my point across as I feel I delivered the message in an authentic way, I don't care. Once upon a time, the most popular celebrities were waxed up in such a sleek packages. It was almost impossible to get a feel for the real personalities. Every move was choreographed, even their love lives, and even when they weren't on the red carpet, they were red carpet ready. Those days are long gone. The celebrities of today the ones who are making it huge by connecting their fans, whatever it's screen on online, all about keeping it real and being themselves. No matter how big or small you want to go, your authenticity will be the root of your appeal and is what you keep people coming to your site and spreading the word about your personal brand, service, or whatever you feeling offer. If you want to dominate the social media game, all of your effort has to come from the heart, and it can't come from the heart in the passionate, irritation, and the wholehearted way. It needs to be if you are trying to be anyone but yourself. Authenticity is what will you make it possible for you and put it kind for hustle necessary to crush it. Hustle. I have said over and over that if you live in the passion and work, the social networking tools, the max opportunities, and the monetize will present themselves. I have also said that in order to crush it, you have to be sure that content is the best in its category. You can still make plenty of good money if you are fourth best in the category or ninth best, but if you really want to dominate the competition and make big bucks, you have got to the best. Do that, be that, and no one will be able to touch you. With one exception, someone with less passion and talent and poorer content can totally beat you if they are willing to work longer and harder than you are. Hustle is it. Without it, you should just pack up your toys and go home. Now I am beating the most people who pick up the book consider themselves hard workers. Many are probably just sick and killer hearts and inflexible schedules and demanding bosses, often found in the corporate world, and think entrepreneurship will somehow be less taxing. I hate to disappoint, but if you are looking for an easier time here, you are barking and wrong tree. There might be a little more flexibility on your day. Should you be at liberty to devote yourself full time to building your personal brand, but otherwise assuming you are doing this right? You will be bleeding out your eyeballs at a computer. You might have thought that old boss was bad, but if you want to your business to do go anywhere, your new boss has better be a slave driver. Too many people don't want to swallow the pill of working every day, every chance they get. If you are making money through social media, you don't get to work for these 3 hours and then play Nintendo for the rest of the evening. That's lip service to hard work. No one make $1 million and the minimum effort unless they will the lottery. The cool thing about hustle through it's the most thing that equalized and playing field. 15 years ago you could have a rock solid idea of your DNA and your passion, but there was a billion to one chance of your actually crushing it in the business. The platform and channels just too narrow and the guarded by some pretty tight gatekeepers. Now we can take advantage and the exploration and tremendous free digital platforms on the internet, which can also making the gatekeepers more and more irrelevant. And now it's no longer a special interest story if you make a big without family connection or money or an education, because everyone can do that. The only differentiator in the game is your passion and your hustle. Don't even look at someone else who has more capital or cred than you and think you shouldn't bother to complete. You may have $1 million business and your biggest competitor may have a $50 million business, but if you can outwork him or her, you will win over time. Anything insane has a price. If you are serious about building your personal brand, there will be no time for we. There will be no time for Scrabble or BooK. club, and poker or hockey. There will be time for meals, chatting with your significant others, and playing with the kids, and otherwise you will be in front of your computer until 3 a.m. every night. If you are unemployed or retired and have all day to work, maybe you knock off at midnight instead. Expect this also to be consuming. This thing is, if you are living your passion, you are going to want your consumed by your work. There's no room for relaxation in the flop on the couch with popcorn and watch TV kind of way. But if you won't need it, you are going to stress or tired. You are going to be relaxed and evagorative. The passion, the love, and what you feel enable the work and hearts necessary to succeed. You will lose track and of the time. Go to bed relentlessly and went up in the morning excited to do over and over again. You will be living and breathing your content, learning everything you can about your subject, about your tools, about your competition, and taking non-stop with other people interested and same thing you are as hard as you are going to push yourself. Don't plan and seeing results right away. I would say that this leads us the number one issue that trips up lot of service savvy entrepreneurs trying to build their brand online. Patience. 90% of people I hear from are in complaint mode, usually to the tune of I am working hard and I am crushing it and nothing happening. What gives? So I ask, how long have you been at this? And they are usually answer something like 6 weeks. 6 week? You don't build business in 6 weeks or 2 months or 6 months. If you content me within a year or starting your business to complain that you haven't made money you thought you would, you are not listening. I would say that you could make a ton of money being happy. I didn't say that you could do it overnight. People listen to me talk about what takes to monetize their personal brand, and sometimes I think they filter out and the parts they don't want to hear. They think I have got the passion, I can do hustle like nobody else, patience. Leave that for the other guy. I'm gonna turbocharge this sucker. But patience is the secret sauce. Once you put your side, you don't want to start and stop, backtracks and second guess. It will make you look insecure and foolish. If you are patient, you will be more likely to plan and prepare the make sure everything in the place before making big moves are going to monetize your brand to fullest. Everyone make a big deal over and fact on only took me 18 months from the time I launched winelibrary.com, getting booked and late night Konas or Brenning and starting taping episodes in 2006. Back before most people were watching online videos, I'm sure if I started the blogs today, now that more people have iPhones and are watching online videos, it would take me even less time to get on everyone's radar, yet as fast as the result seems to have happened, I can assure you, and the whole process took a hell of a long time. You will recall that I was only 16 when I started working at the floor at Shoppers Discount Liquor selling wines to customers, which meant that I still couldn't drink the stuff. I knew through that appreciating wines and therefore being able to sell it and discuss it confidently mean developing a great palate. I read all the tasting notes and wine spectators and start to learn to identify flavor profiles of things, and I could easily find at ShopRites like pear, papaya, cherries, chocolate, blackberries, and I don't stop there too. I sought out more exotic fare like cassis and black raspberry preserve and star fruit. Recently, I discovered goji berries. Good stuff. But there was more criticized note, hint of cigar and dirt and even sweaty sock in wine. I know, there was the guessing. There was no way they are stuck on the sweaty sock. I thought, well, I am going to say something tastes like sweaty sock. Shouldn't I know that it tastes like? So I am giving myself an education. By the time I was 21, I had an incredibly developed palate, even thought I hadn't drunk much wine at all. When I started developing the idea of building Wine Library TV, the later Gary Vaynerchuk.com, I knew that I would have to use the same kind of patience and methodology to learn the social media business as I did to learn the mind business. I was patient that I helped me grow Wine Library too. I was 22 years old and running a $10 million business. I did it with a good fashioned hustle. Every customer who walked in got mentioned to the fullest. If they walk in for the bottle, they usually walk out with three. And I was being paid 27,000 bucks a year. Most young people who takes a business from 4 to 10 million feel they deserve a watch and a car, a cool apartment as rewards for their services and hard work. Get over that. You came last. Before you invest in yourself, you have to invest for the long-term future. That means your profits should funnel right back into your research, your content, and your stuff should you have any. The sooner you start chasing in, the shorter window you have to bewitch and cement your success. So hold off as long as you can. This is why an ambitious and the thirsty as I was the mega success as a business developer. I didn't make a peep anyway. The first year and the half that I was airing the show, I didn't try to make one big dev deal. I probably could have and some success, and I jumped the gun. But the remaining patience and making sure I knew exactly what I am doing, I was able to avoid taking any step backward. Once the speaking engagement, consulting opportunities, and advertising start showing up, how did someone like me, who is so obviously not a patience guy, cool my heels for so long? Because I was 100% happy. I loved that I was doing. I knew down to the core of my business was going to explode. But even if we have fallen flat on my face, that I will have to no longer regrets because I was doing exactly what I wanted to do, the way I wanted to do now. Do you get? It's so important that you to center your business on your passion. If you enter the nice because you are following the dollar, you won't keep it up. It's too much work and you are getting tired to frustrated and all your eventually fold. You have to think about building your brand in terms of marathon, not a sprint. It will take a longer to see the result, but in the 7 of 9 or 15 years won't crack. You will still love what you are doing. What exactly are you going to do that's going to so time and labor intensive? You will be studying your topic, researching and platforms, drafting your blog post, doing whatever it takes and become the foremost expert and personal brand in your field. But most of all, you will be creating a community. That's it. Thanks for today. See you in next chapter. Stay cool, stay happy.